trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We begin with the Texas school massacre and the mother of the suspected gunman sharing her thoughts about her son as we learn more about how this all unfolded and how authorities eventually stopped the shooting. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the story.
The mother of Salvador Ramos, the gunman who police say killed 19 children and 2 teachers, telling ABC News she had, quote, uneasy feelings sometimes about her son, saying he can be aggressive if he got really mad. Also, the communications between the gunman and a 15-year-old girl in Germany now raising questions about missed warning signs. ABC News reviewing a string of text messages through Facebook the gunman allegedly sent the teen he met online, detailing he'd shoot his grandmother and was heading to a school. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, telling ABC News those messages were one-to-one text messages and were not public. This as new details emerge in the investigation and the timeline of the killings. Authorities now say the gunman was inside the school for about 40 minutes before he was killed by officers. Investigators say it all began around 11 a.m. when the 18-year-old suspect shot his grandmother in the face and took off in her truck before crashing about a block and a half from the school. Then, dressed in tactical gear, he ran toward the school with a backpack and an AR-15 style rifle, and at 11:32 was confronted by a school resource officer outside. But officials say at that point, no shots had been fired.
Gunfire was not exchanged, but the subject was able to make it into the school.
Law enforcement officials say they're now reviewing this video, which appears to show the suspect entering the school as part of their investigation.
The gunman then entered a back door and went down 2 short hallways and then into a classroom on the left-hand side.
Authorities say a multi-agency tactical team breached that 4th grade classroom door. A Border Patrol SWAT team member killing the suspect.
They put together an entry team, and they found the gunman in one of the classrooms, and they took out the threat.
And first responders painting a gut-wrenching picture of the panic here at the scene. One fireman telling ABC News that desperate parents were rushing to the school, some smashing windows and pulling their kids out of those classrooms. I'm Morgan Norwood in Uvalde, Texas, ABC News.
And the shooting is pushing many to call for gun safety bills in Washington. There is some progress. We're going to have more of that coming up a little later in this newscast. And as we reported yesterday, Governor Dan McKee calling for the ban of assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. And happening right now here in Providence, the first federally backed test-to-treat site in the country is opening today in Rhode Island. Governor McKee announcing that this morning, along with White House COVID-19 coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha just moments ago. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is in attendance for the announcement. He is live from the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation with more. Yanni?
Yeah, good afternoon, Doreen. That first test-to-treat site opening here in Rhode Island, the location of it is going to be at the Clinica Esperanza, and Governor Dan McKee and Dr. Ashish Jha just announcing that right now, saying that this antiviral drug Paxlovid, it provides easy access through this test-to-treat site that will be able to get this antiviral drug into people's hands. And Dr. Jha also calling Rhode Island a prime example of what needs to be done across the country to try to lower the COVID rates. Now, these test-to-treat sites, they will provide patients with immediate access to the drug as soon as they test positive. And this announcement, it comes as COVID cases and hospitalizations in Rhode Island have been on a steady incline over recent weeks, with cases rising over the past month. But Dr. Jha saying that with a 4-time increase in Paxlovid use in the last month, it's helped to lower severe sickness and death rate, making it as low as it is in Rhode Island, which is why he says that the state of Rhode Island is a prime example of what needs to be done across the country with this. And the sites, again, will provide patients with immediate access to the drug once they test positive. And Dr. Jha, he says that Governor McKee immediately jumped on this opportunity when conversations first came up about these test-to-treat sites. And we caught up with Governor McKee earlier today to talk with him about this program.
Dr. Jha was quite a help for me when we transitioned from the lowest vaccinated state to the highest vaccinated state. He recognized the leadership in Rhode Island.
And this test-to-treat site, it will be paid by the state with a interim chief coming in soon. And there are also going to be more test-to-treat sites opening all across the country, not just here in Rhode Island, although Rhode Island, the first state to be announced to have a test-to-treat site. Some other ones expected in Massachusetts coming soon, as well as in states like Minnesota, Dr. Joss says. And we're going to keep you updated on everything that continues to come out of this press conference that's happening right now inside here of the Rhode Island Commerce Center, and we'll have that coming up later on tonight on ABC6 Evening News. We're live in Providence. Yanni Tregelis, ABC6 News.
All right, Yanni, thank you. Now to the weather as we take a live look outside this afternoon with our sky cam. Another cool but pleasant day out there. Really want to just get outside, Chelsea.
And you should get outside today, Doreen. We are looking at one more really nice day here in southern New England with comfortable conditions and cool, comfortable conditions for this time of year. Breeze is coming in from the south-southeast. It's going to keep us a little bit cooler at the immediate coastline, but mid-60s here in Providence with some sunshine mixing with clouds at times as we head through the remainder of the afternoon. Temperatures inland, farthest away from the coastline, in the 70s in Norwood, 71 in Boston right now, 65 in Smithfield, 65 here in Providence, but again, upper 50s and low 60s at the Rhode Island coastline. We are looking at some sun coming through the clouds right now. A little bit of a wider view shows you rain to our north and some showers way off to our west. We are going to see some passing clouds at times through this afternoon, kind of that blend of sun and clouds expected with highs for one more day, running just slightly cooler than average. But overnight, the clouds continue to thicken up. Tomorrow, we have more clouds. We have some showers. We have muggy conditions. I'll have a look at your full long weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Well, the Rhode Island Convention Center Authority met this morning, and one item on the agenda, the naming rights of the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence. It'll still be the Dunk until the end of June, but after that, change could be on the way. It's held that name for 21 years now. The Rhode Island Convention Center Authority is shooting for June 30th now for a final recommendation for bids and going live with a new naming right on August 1st. On Smith Hill, a historic moment in Rhode Island yesterday as Governor Dan McKee signed a bill legalizing the use of recreational amounts of cannabis in the state. Sponsors of the bill and other state leaders joining the governor for that signing. With the governor's signature, Rhode Island becomes the 19th state to legalize cannabis. This law comes with a 20% tax rate. It also wipes away prior convictions of cannabis possession. The Let RI Vote Act has been passed by the General Assembly. Once signed by the governor, you can fill out a mail-in ballot application online, and you would no longer need two witnesses or a notarized signature to vote by mail. Governor McKee previously said in a tweet that he is ready to sign the bill. And now to the Celtics in the playoffs. The C's are now one win away from the NBA Finals after a convincing Game 5 road win over the Miami Heat last night. The C's went on a 24-2 run late to secure the win. For the Celtics, Jason Tatum finished with 22 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, just shy of a triple-double. Jaylen Brown led all scorers with 25. The Celtics win Game 5, 93-80. They head back to Boston for Game 6 Friday with a 3-2 series lead. Well, still to come here at noon, the tragedy in Texas, reigniting the debate over guns in America. We'll have the latest from Washington. Plus, flying in formula. New details on the baby formula on its way to stores now. And later, we are heading back into the danger zone. We'll hear from the cast of the Top Gun sequel about this long-awaited movie's return. Back now with political news. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are heading to Uvalde in the wake of the mass shooting there. The president is again calling for the passage of sensible bipartisan gun laws in Congress. But despite this latest school shooting, many Senate Republicans still seem opposed to passing legislation that would restrict Americans' access to guns. ABC's M. Wynn reports.
President Biden pleading to get assault-style rifles off the streets.
The idea that an 18-year-old can walk into a store and buy weapons of war designed and marketed to kill is, I think, just wrong.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott insists, though, guns were not the problem in the Uvalde school massacre.
We have a problem with mental health illness in this community.
Abbott's words sparking outrage as his opponent in the race for Texas Governor Beto O'Rourke interrupted his press conference. The 18-year-old shooter in Uvalde had bought 2 AR-15s right after turning of age. But some elected officials refused to even address the question or offer any solutions to the mass shootings occurring in the country.
Do you support expanded background checks? Senator Sinema, do you support changing the Senate rules in order to pass gun control legislation? Can you assure the American people that this time something will get done?
I can't assure the American people there's any law we can pass to stop this shooting.
The inaction by members of Congress is in stark contrast to what Americans want. New polling after the shooting by Politico and Morning Consult shows 88% of people do want background checks, and 84% say they want to prevent sales of firearms to people reported as dangerous. There still may be a legislative path forward, as moderate Democratic Senator Joe Manchin signaled he would be open to discuss scrapping the filibuster if both sides of the aisle can't come to an agreement on gun control. The NRA is meeting in Houston tomorrow, not far from where the shooting happened. The headliner, former President Trump, is expected to reiterate the conservative stance that new gun laws are not the answer. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Well, coming up, a sight for sore eyes. More baby formula arriving in the U.S. How soon it'll hit store shelves. And a new feature from Google Docs that helps move blocks of text, hoping to be a big time saver. Back now with your consumer news. A large shipment of baby formula arrived in the U.S. Wednesday, the second international shipment. More than 100,000 pounds of infant formula. It arrived in D.C. from Germany on the same day that lawmakers grilled formula manufacturers on Capitol Hill, as well as the FDA commissioner, who acknowledged that the agency's slow response to the shortage and promised some changes. Now, this formula will be distributed to hospitals and retailers nationwide as soon as this weekend. And expect more formula to hit shelves as early as June. Well, the NFL reportedly launching its own streaming service. According to Sports Business Journal, NFL Plus will launch in July on phones and tablets and carry games on a subscriber's local TV station for $5 a month. Google Docs is rolling out a new time-saving feature. Users can select multiple pieces of text at the same time and take several actions, like deleting text or copy and paste. Users can also bold multiple titles at once versus one at a time. And Amazon's first brick-and-mortar clothing store is now open in Los Angeles. Every item has a QR code to scan items that customers are interested in. Then those will be sent to a fitting room or to a pickup counter for purchase, eliminating the need to carry clothing around the store.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Almost looking like a summer-like day out there. We have a nice blue sky. We have winds that are slowly starting to pick up out of the south-southeast, but still a very pretty looking day across the area. The temperatures along the immediate coastline, Buck Island in the upper 50s right now, and that's with that wind coming in off the water. The breeze is going to be picking up as we head through the coming days. Breeze from the south to the southwest brings in warmer temperatures for our inland spots, but does keep us a bit cooler at the coastline. And that'll be the case as we head through the upcoming long weekend. Typically this time of year, we should top out in the low 70s. We've been just below that the past few days. We've had temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 60s, so not an extreme drop from where our seasonal temperatures are, but a little bit cooler than average. That's going to be changing as we head into the coming days. We're looking at highs today in the mid to upper 60s. As we head into tomorrow and Saturday, those temperatures start to come up into the low to mid 70s. On Sunday, upper 70s expected, and then by Monday we should be hovering around 80 degrees. Again, this is going to be for our inland spots, while on the coastline it does end up a bit cooler. The dew points are also going to be rising. We start talking about humidity as we head into closer to summer. Obviously, Memorial Day weekend typically our unofficial start to summer. Right now, we're still very comfortable outside, but these dew points have already begun rising. We were in the 30s this morning for our dew point. Some really dry air still in place. It's still very comfortable outside right now, but it is going to start to get more muggy as we head into tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. You're definitely going to feel it. We're looking at fog overnight. We're looking at some spotty showers, more so some mist and some drizzle with the elevated levels of moisture outside, and that will continue overnight into Saturday. I do think we become a little less muggy on Sunday, but still warm and somewhat muggy into even the second half of the weekend. Loop over the past 6 hours shows you that we've had some clouds coming through. We're seeing sunshine right now, but we're going to go back and forth with that blend of sun and clouds for the remainder of the afternoon. Much wider view shows you rain off to our west. There's this low system that's going to be inching closer to us. We're dry for today, relatively rain-free overnight. Again, by tomorrow morning, I think some mist and some drizzle starts to develop, along with some fog overnight. But any steady rain should hold off until tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. Today, you're seeing, again, partly sunny conditions. We head through tonight, the clouds really thicken up. We see the breeze continuing to come in from the south, and by tomorrow morning, we're waking up with some fog and mild temperatures. We'll be in the 50s to start the day tomorrow, better than where we've been the last few mornings. Now, tomorrow stays overcast with some spotty sprinkles around at times. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. You can see a line of some heavier rain and some rumbles of thunder possible. That will come through our area overnight into early Saturday morning. This is 2 a.m. Saturday morning, so you may hear some rumbles of thunder overnight. From there, Saturday is not a washout. It's still mostly cloudy with scattered showers around, but we do start to clear out and get brighter as we head into Sunday. So upper 60s today. Tonight we get some fog coming in with the clouds and the breeze from the south. Temperature should stay in the upper 50s, and then tomorrow you get more clouds. You have some scattered rain coming in, especially late in the day and overnight. And then on Saturday, some scattered showers continuing, especially in the morning hours. From there, Sunday's a little bit brighter and warmer, and Monday we should have highs around 80 degrees for our inland spots, so seeing improvements, especially for the second half of the long weekend. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. Still to come, the long-awaited Top Gun sequel out this weekend. Cast members reflect on the movie-making process. In entertainment news today, get ready to feel the need for speed once again. 36 years later, and a certain jet pilot is back to launch a new adventure. David Daniel has a look.
Everyone here is the best there is. Who the hell are they going to get to teach us?
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell.
Tom Cruise returns to teach a new generation of naval aviators in Top Gun Maverick.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not a teacher. Just want to manage expectations.
Jay Ellis was an eager student.
You know, I grew up watching this movie. My dad was in the Air Force. I grew up around aviation. So all these years later, to be able to go make this movie and be a part of this, after loving the original film so much, it's insane.
Those are your pilots. Anything happens to them. You'll never forgive yourself.
Jennifer Connelly joins the team as an old flame of Mavericks.
I enjoyed the whole process, to be honest with you. I think that Tom is really smart about story and refining the story, identifying the story, honing in on it.
Today's exercise is dogfighting.
2 versus 1? You've got to be kidding.
Cruise's co-stars weren't laughing after a few F-18 spins.
You're sitting there and literally these jets are flying off the screen. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. That's me. That's me in that jet. That's crazy. It's unreal.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, coming up next, a first-of-its-kind Barbie doll modeled after a real-life activist. Plus, Chelsea has another look at your afternoon forecast right after this. Well, finally this afternoon, a new Barbie for writer, producer, actress, and LGBTQ advocate Laverne Cox. It's all part of the Barbie Tribute Collection. Mattel says Cox was included because she's a visionary who has shaped and impacted our culture. The doll is a triple threat ensemble designed in part by Cox. The Barbie is available online. So she comes with all sorts of different pieces of clothing that are interchangeable to be different looks, which seems fitting for Laverne Cox.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Collectible item for sure. We are looking at one more really nice, kind of comfortable day outside with temperatures just slightly cooler than average, topping on the upper 60s. Should be an overall decent day with a mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up with fog and drizzle and mist. We'll likely stay damp for most of the day with a lot of clouds. It'll feel more muggy too. And we have a better chance of some showers developing overnight Friday into Saturday morning, even a few rumbles of thunder possible with some showers lingering for Saturday. It is not a washout. So many people messaging me, asking me about parties and whatnot on Saturday. Not a washout day, just some scattered conditions, and we get a little bit better over the course of the long weekend.
Should I put up your email address so people for the
Go
Memorial
ahead.
Day plans?
Sure.
Always, right before the holiday, we get everybody messages Chelsea. So there you go. You heard it here.
It's not a washout on Saturday.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And thank you for joining us for ABC 6 News at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.